Hello and welcome to After Effects. So I'm going to, I clicked on it, loaded it up. Here's the welcome screen. If I'm continuing to work on a project that I've been working on, I'm going to find it down here in this list. I'm going to start new, which is what I'm going to do. I'm going to click on this button that says New Project. So and still we don't see too much, but we do see these buttons to make a new composition. Everything in After Effects is composition based. So I'm going to start out by making a new composition just by clicking that button. I get the composition setup window, and I'm going to call this form. I'm going to make a couple forms today, and I'm going to go down here to the basic area. And there's a whole bunch of different presets that set the size of the screen, the frame rate, all those things. I'm going to set it for HD TV 1080 24, which is a screen size of 1920 by 1080 and frame rate of 24 frames a second. I'm going to go down here and set a duration. And if I just click in there, select that number, hit the 5, and then the period. So 5 dot, the period equals 2 zeros. I'm going to click outside, so it sets me a duration of my composition of 5 seconds. And also set a background color. Now this is really just the background color. It's kind of a reference. If you really do want to put a background color in, you're going to need to make that as a separate thing. So I'm just going to OK that with the black background for now. Just click OK. And now I have a composition, so I can kind of show you some of the things in After Effects. So first of all, we have our project window. We'll see basically everything we have in our project right now. It's just that composition we made. We have the viewer window here, so we can view our composition. One thing I'll use a lot is this little click here that allows me to fit this in the window or to zoom in or zoom out. So I'm just going to leave it on fit now. The timeline window, so just like a timeline in Adobe Premiere or your editing program or other programs. So we have a line here with our 5 seconds. We have a playhead. If I click and drag it, I can move back and forth. I can also play it by pressing the space button here on the keyboard. Or if I have this little preview window, I can press the play button here. This button here takes me back to the beginning of it. Now, if your screen doesn't look exactly like mine, check out in the window drop-down menu. There's some workspaces, window, workspace, and animation is the one I've chosen. You can always reset that workspace to the save layout. That's the basic layout. That'll give you some of the things that I'm seeing right now. Okay, so I am going to now save my project. So I got an untitled project. I'm going to go File, Save As, just save it on my desktop. So this is going to be, I'll call it Form as well. And I'm going to make a couple different forms using a couple different tools here. So first of all, I have nothing down here in my timeline. It's all empty. I'm going to click on in my tools here, this one that looks like a rectangle, but if I click and hold on the mouse, it gives me some different options for creating shapes. I'm going to choose the ellipse tool to make a circle. And if I go out to the right here, I get a fill color. That's going to be the color inside the circle. And then a stroke color. That's the color that's of the outline of it. And the width of the outline, right now it's at 0 pixels. So I'm just going to click in there and make it 2 pixels. And if I want to change the color of the fill, maybe I want to make it blue, I get my color picker box here. I'm going to click on blue here, and then you can do fine selection by dragging in this box. So I'm going to get that color and just click OK. So now I'm just going to, while I have that circle, that ellipse tool selected, I'm going to hold down the Shift key, and that'll keep it a perfect circle, and just drag. I'm going to let go of the mouse. I clicked on the mouse button and dragged, and let go of the mouse, then let go of the Shift, and I get a nice perfect circle. So I got a circle that's a shape. Okay. And there it is. It's not moving. Nothing is going on with it. I'm not even going to move things in this demo anyway. So So that's how to make a shape. So when you click these tools, you might even see a couple little buttons here. The tool creates a mask or the tool creates a shape. So we're creating a shape. I'm going to create a mask next, which is just a little bit different. For a mask, it's basically you have to have something selected and then you draw basically a shape or make a form on it that basically is you're telling After Effects what you want to see of that thing. So I can bring in a photograph and just draw a circle around the part I want to show. For example, in this case, I'm going to go to the Layer drop-down menu, go Layer, New, and I'm going to make a solid, which is basically going to be a screen of a solid color. And I'm just going to, I get this little solid settings window that opens up. I'm going to click on my color picker and I'm going to make it, I'm going to draw kind of a cloud, so it's going to be kind of gray. So I'm going to get kind of a grayish color. I can fine tune it here. I'm going to click OK. And this is going to make it the composition size. So that's the size of the screen. I'm going to go OK. Now I put it on top, and that means it covers up the shape we already drew. So things above are going to cover up things down below. Now I want to make a cloud, so I'm actually none of these shape tool shapes is going to be exactly right for me. So I'm going to use the pen tool here. The pen tool allows me to make a mask or a shape in whatever shape I want to do it. But the idea is with the pen tool, you don't use it like you'd use a ballpoint pen where you click and then you draw with it. What you do is you basically connect the dots. So, but you're making the dots and then After Effects is connecting them. So I'm going to use my pen tool and I'm just going to make some clicks here. They're going to be somewhat cloud shaped. I just want to make sure that the last point connects up with the first point, and here they are. So there's my kind of general cloud. It doesn't really look much like a cloud, but notice that I can click on these with the mouse while the pen tool is selected to move them around. Now, I want to curve these points. When I was drawing them, if I clicked and dragged, that would curve them. But also, if I hold down the Alt key on the PC or the Option key on the Mac, it gets this vertex converting tool. I can see it in my pen tools here, the Convert Vertex tool. And what it allows me to do is take that straight connection, see how these lines go like at an even angle there, and curve it with what's called Bezier curves. So notice that I added a curve there, and I have some handles that I can adjust that curve. I'm going to go to all these. Notice that sometimes you pull it the wrong way and you have to kind of twist it around to get that curve correct. See here, I have to kind of twist it around to get that curve right. Maybe just bring this up a little bit. Maybe I'll just curve this one and then leave that one like it is. And so we got kind of a cloud. I'm going to move it around like that. I can play with my handles a little bit and get it looking kind of cloud-like. There we go. Now, when I go to the line here, it's a pale blue solid. That was my cloud I just drew. The shape you can see has the little star, tells you it's a shape. If I click on the little arrow underneath it, it says masks, I can open that up and I can see, oh, there's my mask that I drew. And there's a bunch of different options for how I can change that. One of them is to feather it. And what a feather does is it adds a little bit of a just a haze. It feathers the edges of that mask. You cannot do that with a shape, which is always going to have solid borders. If I click my selection tool and just click on the outside so I can kind of see this, you can really see that looks a lot more like a cloud. Okay, so I have a couple shapes, just a circle and a cloud that I made. The circle with the shape tool, the cloud with a mask tool. I'm going to just name these, and then for the next step, you're going to have to watch the next video. So I'm going to call this one, the pale blue solid, is going to be cloud. Now to name one of your lines here in After Effects, I'm going to close these up just to simplify it. To name a line, what you want to do is not double click in it, because that'll just open up a new window here that you have to then close with just that cloud layer. So what you want to do is hit the Enter key on your keyboard. Oops. Okay, you're going to click on this layer here, hit the Enter key. Notice it's blue. I'm going to call that cloud. And I'm going to click on this layer. I'm going to make it into a clock eventually. So I'm just going to call it, just going to hit this and I'll call it, so the enter key, call it clock face. And then that's there. Okay, so I'm going to save my work. And so that's just making a shape and a mask and adjusting them in After Effects. See you in the next video.